Hello, welcome back to Going Walkabout. In today's episode I'm going to change the login sequence. I'll shortly show you why, but I first explain I'm also going to do it a little bit different than in other videos. Today I'm going to start working on it and I'll keep you updated during the day. And when it's done, I'll report back to you, and probably also in between a few times. So let's get started. Let me first show the reason why I want to change the login sequence. So let's go and look what happens when you first start the app or start it after a reinstall. So I have the app here and I'm going to start it, and what we see is a loading screen, and then from the bottom the dialog for signing in pops up. If I want to switch to creating an account or back and again and again, and I want to change my password, we see all the time these nice iOS 13 animations for the modal pop-ups. And this worked fine before iOS 13, but right now I'm just not happy with the way it looks. It just doesn't look very, let's say, polished. So I want to change that. And I just want to do it with the correct navigation, and also that when it starts up you have the choice to sign up or sign in, and not try to do that automatically based on the fact if you already had the app installed once, etc, etc. So that's what I'm going to do today. So the very first thing I need to do is here start changing my storyboard, and in my startup view controller changing the logic that automatically will perform that link. So if you're no user, I either go to the register and log in. So I'm going to start removing that and start working on a new way of doing that login sequence. I'm going back to work and I'll see you back in a while. Hello, I'm reporting back. I actually haven't done a lot because I went to the shop and I had lunch, but I made some progress and I'll show you what I've been doing so far. So first, I've been cleaning up here the storyboard. I embedded my startup view controller in the navigation controller, and I put very simple seeks to my register page, to my login page, and to the change password. Because they now all have a navigation stack, I don't need to have the various seeks between them to make sure that I can navigate from one to another. Now, if we run this on the simulator, you see I changed this a little bit. The header is still not very nice, and I put some fake buttons on it just to show the concept. So if I go to the sign up, I get to the sign up, I can go back and I can go to the login, and if I decide I need to sign up because I don't have a login yet, I can still go here, etc. And from the login I can go to the reset password, and I can also navigate back here. So now it is a really simple flow and it works, and what I need to do now is to make sure that it looks nice, and especially on this screen also provide appropriate legal information, the possibility to go to my terms and conditions, to show my privacy statement, and all this kind of requirements before I can actually release this to the App Store. So that's what I'm going to do right now. Hello, here I am with some progress. Let me show you first what I've been doing. Here in the simulator you see I have made the layout a little bit nice. So we have a register button that works as you already saw. We now have some legal requirements. I can click on terms, so we show the normal terms we have, and same for the privacy statement. And do you already have an account? You can sign in. And then we go to the sign in window. So this window is now looking the way I want to have it. And for that, of course, I had to make some adjustments here in my storyboard, do all this layout fiddling to make sure that it also runs on an iPad properly, so with the maximum width of a button, because you don't want to have, this big button to click on, and that is all working. And you also noticed in the demo that my header bar is now the correct color, both in light as in dark mode. Next demo I will do in dark mode. That I had to use the same way as I was updating my nav bar in previous places and other places in the product, what I already explained in an earlier episode. It was a simple fix, just make sure I set the correct background color, and now it is looking nicely. So let's go to the simulator again. We can put it in dark mode, and we can also see that that is working the way you would expect. And oops, yes, see, we have the nice dark mode here, and we can open the terms in dark modes, and that is all working the way it should be. So you would say I'm finished, but now I realized one thing, what is a bit of a problem. And I will show you that in the startup view controller, because the startup view controller is the initial view controller. Now, in case the user is not logged in, it will get into this view appear, it will obtain changes, it will find no user, and it will present itself. But in the other situations, when the user is already logged in from a previous session, it will still get in this state, but it finds the user, and it's a correct user, and it will navigate to the main window. Now, that is of course expected behavior, but in a very short period of time, you actually see that window. And that's what I didn't have in the previous scenario, because that window didn't contain anything. Now the startup view controller has a layout. Before it only had the logo, what was exactly at the same spot as the launch screen. So I need to figure out something that I will only show that layout after I have figured out that the user isn't logged in yet. So that's what I'm going to work on now. And I actually have this idea that I want to move the icon from top and animate that, etc. But I'm not sure how far I'm going to get to that, and that I'm going to do that in this session. So that's what I'm going to do now, and I'll report back when I have that finished, so you can see the complete demo. I'll see you later. So here I am for the last chapter. I fixed the issue with the login sequence. So let's demo first, and then I'll explain you how I did that. Now I need to run this from start, so watch carefully. I'm launching the application. You see the logo disappearing, and I'm logged in. So this is a sequence where the user has been logged in before. And now you see the launch screen comes up, it disappears, and it moves into the application. It's a smooth transition. So now let's go and log out. We log out the user, and then we start the app again, and we'll see what the behavior is at that point in time. So I'll stop it, and I'll launch it again. And again, it will appear now, and you'll see now the logo is at a different space, and the registration and login form has been displayed. So this way I cover both scenarios. It was actually quite an easy fix, because what I did, you can see that here in the storyboard, I just made all the controls kind of, visible by putting them into a sub-view, and then I animate that sub-view to become visible here in the startup view controller. A little bit down here. I just make that visible and the logo visible, so it is not that harsh either on your eyes. It doesn't appear suddenly, and this is good enough for me. Now I had some ideas also to animate the logo from the center position moving up and then do the appearance, and maybe one day I will still do that, but for today this is enough. I'm happy with the result, and yeah, it's the next step, so I can move forward to the next part of the project. Now, this was a little bit different, this video. I hope you like it. For me, it was fun doing it this way, and I'll might be doing it a few more times. So, if you liked the video, please like and subscribe. If you didn't like the video, maybe the next one will be better. I keep experimenting. I thank you for watching and I'll see you in the next video.